Have you ever stopped to think why the chosen ones face so many difficult and manipulative relationships? The truth is shocking. There is a higher purpose behind every challenge you have faced. God is revealing something powerful today, something few people know, but that can transform your life forever. If you have survived attacks from narcissists and controlling situations, know this: you are not a victim by chance. Your divine weapon is already within you, waiting to be used. This video will expose the justice of the Spirit and how the chosen ones, like you, can turn ruin into victory. Don't leave now, because what's coming is the answer you've been looking for, and it could be the key to your liberation. Maybe you've wondered why you seem to attract people who drain your energy, control your emotions, and make you feel trapped in an endless cycle of pain and frustration. Know this: it is not a coincidence, nor is it the end of your story. God allowed you to face these situations because He knew you were strong enough to overcome them. You are a chosen one, and even if everything seems chaotic now, there is a divine purpose behind every tear and every difficulty. Today, you will understand why all this is happening and discover how to turn the tables. What I will share here is not just a teaching, it is a calling. The secret that God has revealed to the chosen ones is not something that just anyone is ready to hear. It is reserved for those who have faced darkness up close and still chose to walk in the light. With each minute of this video, you will get closer to a revelation that can change the way you see your struggles, and more importantly, how you can use them as a divine weapon to defeat manipulation and achieve true spiritual freedom. Don't miss any detail, because the end of this video brings something that could be the answer you've been searching for a long time. The chosen ones are special souls, endowed with a unique and powerful mission on this earth. However, this journey is rarely smooth. One of the greatest challenges the chosen ones face is encounters with narcissistic people and toxic relationships. But why does this happen? From a spiritual and universal perspective, these encounters are not by chance. They are part of a divine plan, meant to strengthen the soul of the chosen one, reveal their true purpose, and teach essential lessons about freedom, self-love, and inner strength. The chosen ones have a spiritual light that shines brightly, attracting both good and evil. Narcissists are drawn to this light because deep down, they seek fulfillment for the inner void they carry. While the light of the chosen ones illuminates and heals, narcissists often seek to drain it to fuel their own emotional and spiritual needs. This creates a toxic cycle, where the chosen one needs to learn to discern who is by their side out of genuine love and who is there to take advantage. Nothing in the life of a chosen one happens without a higher purpose. These encounters with narcissists are spiritual lessons in disguise. God allows these relationships to happen so that the chosen one develops wisdom, resilience, and a deeper connection with their divine essence. Through these experiences, the chosen one learns to recognize their own strength and establish clear boundaries, which is essential for fulfilling their purpose. The cycle of toxic relationships with narcissists almost always starts the same way, with emotional manipulation and an apparent phase of enchantment. The narcissist makes the chosen one believe they have found someone who understands them deeply, but this mask soon falls. Then comes the gaslighting, where the narcissist distorts reality, so that the chosen one doubts themselves. This strategy is an attempt to control the mind and emotions of the chosen one, undermining their self-confidence and making them vulnerable. This emotional manipulation can make the chosen one feel like they are trapped in an inescapable cycle. The control exerted by the narcissist often seems unavoidable, but it is precisely at this point of vulnerability that God works most powerfully. He uses these circumstances to open the eyes of the chosen one and show them that they are not alone. This divine revelation is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, a higher purpose is being fulfilled. Every challenge is an opportunity for evolution. Narcissists, although seemingly enemies, are actually instruments that test and strengthen the spirit of the chosen ones. When the chosen one finally frees themselves from the clutches of a toxic relationship, they emerge stronger, wiser, and with a deeper understanding of the true meaning of spiritual freedom. This freedom is essential for them to fulfill their divine mission without emotional shackles. God allows these encounters as a way to reveal the true value of self-love. The chosen ones are often empathetic beings who put the needs of others above their own. However, relationships with narcissists force the chosen one to look inward and recognize that taking care of themselves is not selfish but a spiritual necessity. Learning to prioritize themselves is one of the greatest gifts God bestows in these moments of pain. Overcoming a toxic relationship is not just an act of courage, it is also an act of faith. The chosen one needs to trust that something greater is waiting for them. It is through this faith that they discover their true strength does not come from resisting the control of the narcissist, but from completely freeing themselves from it. This liberation is a testament to God's power in their life and proof that the chosen one was called for something much greater. Once the chosen one breaks the toxic cycle, they realize that these experiences were like a forge, shaping and strengthening their character. They come to understand that true spiritual freedom can only be achieved when one abandons fear and chooses to live fully in the divine truth. This truth is what sets them free, and that is why God never abandons his chosen ones, even in the most difficult moments. If you, chosen one, are facing a toxic relationship or dealing with a narcissist, know that this is not a punishment. It is a divine opportunity for you to awaken, grow, and prepare for the grand purpose that God has for your life. No matter how dark the situation seems, remember, you are not called to live in emotional chains. God created you to be free, strong, and enlightened. Your victory over these relationships will be the living testimony that with God, anything is possible. It is important that you are prepared to clearly identify the warning signs that reveal the presence of narcissists and toxic relationships in your life. I will guide you in recognizing specific behaviors that may be draining your energy, undermining your confidence, and diverting you from the purpose God has prepared. With practical and easy-to-recognize examples, you will have the necessary tools to protect yourself and build healthier relationships aligned with your mission as a chosen one. One of the most distinctive traits of a narcissist is the constant need to control everything and everyone around them. They believe that only their vision is valid and that they need to be in command for things to happen according to their expectations. In everyday life, this can be observed when the person insists on deciding what you should wear, who you can relate to, or even how you should act in simple situations. For example, a narcissist may constantly criticize your choices, from the restaurant you like to eat at to the way you organize your work, all to reaffirm their position of authority. Narcissists have great difficulty putting themselves in others' shoes. They cannot understand or validate other people's feelings, especially if it does not directly benefit them. This can be noticed when you share something important or painful, and the person minimizes or completely ignores what you feel. For example, when you say you are tired or sad, a narcissist may respond with phrases like, "Everyone goes through that, it's no big deal," or "You are too sensitive." This behavior gradually invalidates your emotions and creates an emotional disconnection. Manipulation is a common tool of narcissists, used to control and take advantage of the people around them. They are masters at distorting reality and making you doubt yourself. A clear example of this is gaslighting, which occurs when they say things like, "You are exaggerating," "That never happened," or "You must be imagining things." This type of behavior makes the victim feel confused and question their own perception of reality. Narcissists have an insatiable need for attention and approval, but rarely offer the same in return. They expect to be constantly praised, often forcing situations to ensure they are the center of attention. An example of this is when they share exaggerated or even invented achievements to impress others. However, if someone tries to share their own accomplishments, the narcissist quickly shifts the focus back to themselves. Another revealing behavior is the tendency to always blame others for their own mistakes or failures. Narcissists rarely take responsibility and instead constantly look for a scapegoat. For example, in an argument, they may say, "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have acted this way." This creates a cycle of blame where you end up taking responsibility for everything, even when it is not your fault. Narcissists often demonstrate an attitude of superiority, believing they are smarter, more talented, or more important than they actually are. This attitude is often accompanied by belittling others. In everyday life, you may notice this when they interrupt a conversation to show that they know more about the subject or belittle others' achievements by saying, "That's not a big deal. I would do better." Relationships with narcissists often involve some level of exploitation. They have no problem using the people around them to achieve their own goals, whether emotionally or financially. An example is when a narcissist constantly asks for favors or money with no intention of reciprocating, always justifying their actions convincingly. They make you feel it is your obligation to help, but rarely offer anything in return. Narcissists often resort to passive-aggressive behavior to manipulate and control. This can be observed in actions like giving the infamous silent treatment or using sarcasm to subtly belittle someone. For example, they might say something like, "I didn't expect much from you anyway," when they are dissatisfied, leaving you feeling inadequate without direct criticism. In arguments, narcissists do not aim to resolve the issue but to win. They use tactics such as yelling, interrupting, or distorting what you said to weaken your position. An example of this is when you try to explain your point of view, and they change the subject or exaggerate your arguments, making it seem like you are being irrational or unfair. Because of their toxic behaviors, narcissists have difficulty maintaining long-term friendships, romantic relationships, or even family ties. Initially, they may be charming and attentive, but over time, their true intentions emerge. You may notice this when they frequently break off friendships or argue with family members over seemingly trivial reasons, always justifying that the others were wrong. These signs not only help to identify a narcissist, but also to protect yourself emotionally and spiritually. Relationships with narcissists not only consume your physical energy, but also drain your spiritual strength. As a chosen one, your energy is a precious gift to fulfill your divine purpose. However, toxic people have the ability to sap that energy, leaving you feeling constantly tired, unmotivated, and directionless. This happens because the narcissist manipulates your emotions, creating a sense of emotional dependence that keeps you away from the balance and inner peace that God desires for you. A toxic relationship can make you question your faith and your worth as a chosen one. Narcissists often plant doubts and insecurities that make you feel like you are never good enough, even when you are giving your best. These words and attitudes create emotional barriers that distance you from communion with God, as you begin to believe the lies about yourself instead of trusting in the divine truth. You are a perfect work chosen by God. Remember, even when you doubt yourself, God never doubted your worth. Living with narcissists can be devastating for emotional health, leading to feelings of anxiety, low self-esteem, and even depression. As a chosen one, you may feel responsible for healing or saving these people, but this emotional burden is too heavy and not yours to carry. God does not want you to live in constant suffering, trying to please those who will never be satisfied. Instead, He wants you to free your mind and heart from these chains, allowing your emotional health to flourish. When you are involved in a toxic relationship, your attention is diverted from your greater purpose. Narcissists have the ability to create chaos and drama that consume all your focus, pulling you away from your spiritual journey. As a chosen one, it is essential that you keep your eyes on God and your mission. Remember, these relationships are like storms that come to test your faith and resilience, but also to remind you that your strength comes from the Lord. Do not let these storms divert you from the path you were called to. The good news is that, even after facing these destructive relationships, you can rebuild yourself and rediscover your true essence. God never takes His eyes off you, even when your vision is obscured by the lies and manipulations of others. He is always ready to renew your faith and strength. Know that the healing process involves freeing yourself from the guilt, fear, and doubt that these relationships planted in your heart. And most importantly, remember, you may doubt yourself, but God never doubted your worth. Your life is precious, and your purpose is greater than any challenge you face. Now is the time to look within and reflect on the relationships around you. We will guide you on a journey of self-analysis, offering questions that will help you evaluate whether the people in your life are truly contributing to your growth or blocking the purpose that God has reserved for you. This exercise is more than a simple reflection. It is a powerful tool to bring clarity and protect your energy, faith, and divine mission. By identifying the impact of these relationships, you will be taking a crucial step to strengthen your connection with God and live fully as the chosen one you were called to be. First, ask yourself, does this person value me or just take advantage of me? This is one of the most important questions to evaluate someone's role in your life. Do you feel that this person truly sees your value and supports you on your journey? Or do they seem to be only interested in what they can get from you? Genuine relationships bring support and mutual exchange, while toxic ones only drain your energy. Now reflect, after being with this person, do I feel stronger or weaker? This is a practical way to measure someone's impact on your life. Healthy relationships leave us strengthened and motivated, while toxic ones drain our energy. As a chosen one, it is essential to recognize who helps you move forward and who keeps you stuck in negative cycles. Also think, does this person respect my boundaries or constantly ignore them? Respect for boundaries is a clear sign of a healthy relationship. If someone disregards your feelings, invades your space, or demands things you are not willing to offer, it is an important alert. God desires that you are surrounded by people who respect who you are. Ask yourself, can I be my true self around this person? Do you feel free to express your emotions, beliefs, and opinions, or are you always molding yourself to please and avoid conflict? Relationships that require you to hide your true identity are not aligned with the purpose that God has for your life. Reflect deeply. Does this relationship reflect the love that God desires for my life? God called us to live in relationships that build, inspire, and bring peace. If a relationship is marked by control, manipulation, and selfishness, it does not reflect divine love. Evaluate whether this person truly brings the fruits of the Spirit into your life, such as patience, kindness, and support, or if they only generate pain and confusion. By reflecting on each of these questions, you will be able to clearly discern which relationships are a divine gift and which are diverting you from the path that God has laid out for your life. Use this moment of introspection to align yourself even more with the purpose that the Lord has for you as a chosen one. God never abandons His chosen ones, even when the path seems dark and full of thorns. Toxic relationships and the challenges imposed by narcissists may seem insurmountable, but it is at this moment that the divine presence becomes most evident. He not only observes but actively works to free the chosen ones, guiding them with His infinite wisdom. God, in His infinite goodness, has already prepared a path for every chosen one who finds themselves trapped in a destructive relationship. You may not see it now, but liberation is in progress. Sometimes, He uses unexpected circumstances or people as instruments to open your eyes and show that there is a better life waiting for you. Often, suffering may seem meaningless, but God uses every pain as a tool for growth and transformation. Just as gold is purified in the fire, the difficulties faced in toxic relationships are opportunities to refine the soul of the chosen one, strengthening their faith and revealing the divine purpose. Although narcissists try to manipulate and dominate, they have no power over God's chosen ones. The divine protection is an invisible shield, preventing evil from prevailing. Even when everything seems lost, remember, 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. Psalm 91 verse 7. The liberation from a toxic relationship is not only emotional, but deeply spiritual. God allows these experiences to strengthen the spirit of the chosen one, helping them to better discern what is healthy and edifying. It is a healing process that starts from within, and God is the guide on this path. At the height of pain, God often reveals His promises and plans. He speaks to the heart of the chosen one, assuring that there is hope and renewal beyond the current situation. Remember the promise, He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. A toxic relationship can make the chosen one question their worth, but God uses these situations to remind us that we are made in His image and likeness. The journey to leave these relationships is also a journey of self-discovery, where the chosen one finds their inner strength and the certainty that they deserve true love. Faith is the foundation that sustains the chosen one during times of crisis. It is believing that, even when we do not see the way out, God is working behind the scenes. This unwavering faith is what keeps the chosen one resilient in the face of adversity and the manipulations of narcissists. God does not allow the chosen ones to go through the fire without a greater purpose. Every tear and every struggle serve to shape the character and prepare the chosen one for a glorious destiny. Just as gold becomes more valuable after being refined, suffering brings wisdom and strength. Often, God allows the separation from toxic people and situations to protect the chosen one. Although the process may be painful, it is an act of divine love, for He knows that certain relationships are not compatible with the greater purpose He has reserved. God teaches us the importance of forgiveness, not as an approval of the wrong suffered, but as a way to free the heart from resentment. By forgiving, the chosen one releases the emotional chains that kept them trapped, making room for healing and inner peace. Narcissists often try to destroy the self-esteem of their victims, but God continually reaffirms the identity of the chosen one. He reminds us that we are His beloved children, created to reign in glory and not to live in submission to toxicity. The Word of God renews the mind of the chosen one, helping them to see the truth about themselves and others. This renewal is crucial to breaking the cycles of emotional abuse and building healthy relationships based on mutual respect and love. God promises to restore everything that was lost. For the chosen one, This means not only emotional and spiritual recovery, but also the reconstruction of a full and abundant life. What once seemed destroyed will be rebuilt on solid and unshakable foundations. The victory of the chosen one is not just the exit from a toxic relationship, but the complete transformation of their life. With God, the chosen one finds freedom, purpose, and true love that transcends any manipulation. This victory is proof that the divine light always prevails over darkness. Have you ever wondered how it is possible to break free from toxic relationships and overcome the wounds left by narcissists? What I am going to share with you now are spiritual and practical strategies that not only strengthen your faith, but also help build a life full of purpose and peace. This is an essential guide for the chosen ones, those whom God has called to a journey of overcoming and growth. If you have come this far, know that it is not by chance. God is guiding you to discover a secret that can transform the way you face life's challenges and protect your spiritual energy. Prayer, direct connection with God. Prayer is the foundation of any spiritual battle. It is not just a moment of conversation with God, but a channel to receive strength, answers, and direction. Dedicate at least 10 minutes at the beginning and end of each day for intentional prayer. During this time, give thanks, ask for protection, and declare victory over negative influences. By doing this, you are reinforcing your spiritual bond and creating a shield against any energy that tries to divert you from the purpose God has given you. Meditation to find inner peace. Meditation is a practice that many chosen ones neglect, but has a profound impact on connecting with divine truth. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. Visualize a divine light enveloping your body, bringing calm and clarity. Dedicate this time to listen to what God is trying to tell you in silence. This not only increases your emotional resilience, but also helps you better discern the intentions of those around you. Visualization of a spiritual armor. One of the most powerful strategies for spiritual protection is to visualize a divine armor around you. Before leaving home or facing difficult situations, imagine a golden light enveloping you from head to toe, like a celestial armor. This practice protects you from criticism, manipulations, and negative energies sent by toxic people. Declare out loud, "I am protected by divine strength. Nothing can harm me." Seek divine truth daily. Chosen ones have a commitment to divine truth, and this requires spiritual discipline. Read the scriptures, reflect on the teachings, and ask God for discernment to apply these principles in your daily life. The more you seek the truth, the harder it will be for narcissistic or manipulative people to influence your decisions. Remember, those who are in the light do not get lost in the shadows. Building self-esteem as a divine creation. Recognizing that you are a divine creation is essential to overcoming the emotional traps set by narcissists. They try to diminish your self-esteem to control you, but God made you unique and precious. Write down 3 things you admire about yourself daily and declare out loud, "I am worthy because I was created in the image and likeness of God." Liberation from guilt and doubts. Often, toxic relationships leave marks of guilt and doubts about your own abilities. Remember that God gave you a purpose and does not want you to carry unnecessary burdens. Practice the act of forgiving yourself and declare, "I release myself from all guilt that does not come from God. I accept divine forgiveness and move forward." Gratitude exercise to strengthen resilience. Gratitude is a powerful weapon against negative thoughts. Every day, write down 5 things you are grateful for. By doing this, you start to change your perspective, focusing on blessings instead of difficulties. This not only increases your resilience, but also helps you protect yourself against the negativity of toxic people. Develop a spiritual support circle. Being surrounded by people who share the same faith is essential for your journey. Seek friends or spiritual communities where you can share your struggles and victories without fear of judgment. These connections strengthen your faith and remind you that you are not alone on this journey. Replace negativity with positive actions. Whenever negative thoughts or words arise, replace them with positive actions and statements. For example, if someone tries to diminish your worth, tell yourself, "I am a chosen one and my life is in God's hands." This change in mindset is a practical way to overcome negative influences. Faith as a tool for transformation. Faith is the foundation of all these strategies. Without it, the practices lose their meaning. Trust in God, even when it seems that things are not going right. He is working behind the scenes, preparing something much greater than you can imagine. Declare your victory with confidence and stay firm on your journey. With these practices, You will not only overcome challenges, but also strengthen yourself to live the incredible purpose that God has for you. Often, the chosen ones face challenges in their relationships because the light they carry attracts both good-hearted people and those who wish to control or manipulate them. Cutting toxic ties is not just an emotional necessity, it is an act of spiritual protection and obedience to God. Staying connected to relationships that drain your energy prevents you from fully living the purpose you were called for. Today, we will explore practical and spiritual tools to help you set boundaries, move away from manipulations, and find support on your journey. Clear boundaries are essential to protect your peace and energy. Identify behaviors that you will not tolerate, such as destructive criticism, emotional manipulations, or invasions of privacy. Communicate these boundaries firmly but respectfully. For example, say, "I value our relationship, but I do not accept being treated this way." Maintaining these boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but a way to preserve your dignity and the light that God has placed in you. Toxic people often use manipulation to try to control your emotions. Recognize these patterns and learn to distance yourself emotionally. Practice the technique of not reacting when provoked, as this disarms the manipulator. Take a deep breath, ask God for discernment, and respond calmly and objectively. This distancing prevents other people's actions from having power over you. Not all battles need to be fought publicly. Often, silence is the best response to dealing with toxic relationships. Manipulative people expect reactions to feed their emotional games. When you choose silence and surrender your worries to God, you demonstrate strength and wisdom. This also makes it harder for these people to find ways to harm you. Seeking support in spiritual or faith communities is essential to strengthen your resilience. Participating in groups where you can share your experiences and hear testimonies can renew your hope and bring clarity. Remember, God often uses other people to bring comfort, guidance, and encouragement. Being surrounded by people with similar values helps fill the spaces left by toxic relationships. Prayer is not only a tool for connection with God, but also a form of liberation. Ask God for strength to cut ties with those who do not add value to your life. Say in your prayers, "Lord, show me who should stay and who I should let go. Help me cut relationships that are not aligned with your purpose for me." This daily practice gives you clarity and courage to make difficult decisions. Chosen ones often prioritize others, forgetting their own emotional needs. Recognize that your happiness and well-being are important. This means learning to say no without guilt and prioritizing your spiritual and personal growth. The more you value yourself, the easier it will be to identify and cut ties that prevent you from flourishing. Often we continue in toxic relationships because we hope the other person will change. While God is capable of transforming hearts, it is not your responsibility to force this change. Free yourself from the expectations that the other person will be different. Focus on your own journey and leave the people in God's hands, trusting that He knows what is best for you and for them. Taking care of yourself is an act of worship to God, who created you with purpose and value. Invest in practices that increase your emotional well-being, such as moments of introspection, reading inspiring texts, and hobbies that bring you joy. The more you take care of yourself, the stronger you will be to face and cut ties that do not serve your divine purpose. Reflect on the patterns in your relationships and recognize if there is something that keeps you tied to toxic people. For example, you may have a tendency to want to save others or avoid conflicts. Work on these aspects with prayer, meditation, and, if necessary, professional guidance. Identifying these patterns is the first step to freeing yourself from them and preventing new toxic relationships from emerging in the future. Cutting ties can be painful, but trust that God has something better reserved for you. He promises in His Word that those who align with the divine purpose will never be forsaken. By letting go of what does not add value, you open up space to receive new blessings and relationships that build up your life. Declare with confidence, "I release what does not serve me and trust in God's perfect plan for me." Joseph, son of Jacob, was betrayed by his own brothers, who, driven by envy, sold him as a slave to Egypt. Although he was in a position of total injustice, Joseph did not let hatred dominate him. Even when falsely accused and imprisoned, he kept his faith in God and his integrity. Joseph's story teaches us that even amidst manipulation and abuse, trusting in the divine plan can turn adversities into victories. He was exalted to the position of governor of Egypt, showing that God is capable of reversing any situation for the good of those who love Him. David was chosen by God to be king, but before ascending to the throne, he faced years of persecution from Saul. Driven by envy and paranoia, Saul tried to destroy David many times. Even so, David refused to retaliate with hatred, choosing instead to honor Saul's position as the anointed king. He said, "I will not raise my hand against the Lord's anointed." 1 Samuel 24 verse 10. David teaches us that instead of retaliating against narcissists and persecutors, we should keep our faith, let God act, and believe that he brings justice in due time. Esther, a woman chosen to be queen, faced a great challenge when she discovered Haman's plan to destroy the Jewish people. Despite the danger, Esther showed courage and wisdom by interceding before the king. Her inspiring stance reflects the importance of standing with faith and trust in God in the face of adversity. Esther trusted in the divine purpose and saved her nation, proving that God uses the chosen ones to defeat the forces of evil and free the oppressed. Job faced devastating attacks in all areas of his life, losing family, health, and possessions. His friends, instead of consoling him, accused him of being responsible for his own misfortunes, showing characteristics of toxic and insensitive criticism. However, Job remained steadfast in his integrity and refused to blame God. Job's story reminds us that even when surrounded by destructive words and actions, our faith can sustain us and lead to total restoration. God rewarded him with twice as much as he had lost. Nehemiah faced strong opposition while leading the reconstruction of Jerusalem's walls. Sanballat and Tobiah, driven by envy, tried to demoralize Nehemiah and stop his progress with mockery and threats. However, Nehemiah trusted in God, saying, "The God of heaven will give us success. We his servants will start rebuilding." Nehemiah 2 verse 20. He continued the work, ignoring distractions and staying focused on his mission. Nehemiah teaches us that even when we face criticism and opposition, we can achieve our goals with determination and faith. Moses faced constant murmuring and rebellion from the people he led in the desert. Even when his leadership was questioned, Moses sought God's guidance, interceding for the people and trusting in the divine plan. On one occasion, his own sister Miriam and his brother Aaron criticized his leadership. God intervened, showing that Moses was the chosen one for that mission. His story teaches us that even in the face of unjust criticism, obedience and faithfulness to God are rewarded. Daniel was a man of integrity and wisdom, which aroused the envy of other rulers in Babylon. They conspired to destroy him, manipulating King Darius to issue a decree that prohibited prayer to any god other than the king himself. Daniel, however, remained faithful to God, praying as usual. His loyalty resulted in his survival in the lion's den, a miracle that revealed God's power. Daniel's story inspires the chosen ones to stand firm in faith, even when facing unjust persecution. Jesus Christ faced rejection, betrayal, and crucifixion, but responded with love and forgiveness. Even as a victim of envy and hatred from religious leaders, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23 verse 34. His life and sacrifice are the supreme example of how the chosen ones can overcome evil with good. Jesus showed us that, amidst the greatest injustices, we can trust in the divine purpose and respond with grace. Corrie ten Boom, a Dutch Christian who saved Jews during the Holocaust, was imprisoned in a concentration camp along with her family. After the war, she met one of the guards responsible for her suffering. He asked for forgiveness, and Corrie, trusting in the power of the Holy Spirit, managed to forgive him. She taught that forgiveness is a liberation for the one who grants it and a testimony of God's love. Although not a biblical account, the story of Nelson Mandela reflects divine principles. After 27 years of unjust imprisonment, he chose to forgive his oppressors and lead South Africa towards reconciliation. His life is a modern example of how forgiveness and wisdom can transform toxic relationships and entire communities. These examples show us that the chosen ones, by trusting in God, are empowered to overcome the most difficult situations. Whether it is Joseph, David, Esther, or Corrie ten Boom, all demonstrated that faith is the key to overcoming toxicity and manipulation. Just as they overcame, you can too. The secret lies in seeking divine strength and applying God's teachings in your life. God is with you in every battle. He not only sees your struggles, but also prepares the way for your victory. The stories of overcoming by people who faced narcissists and toxic relationships are a reminder that you, as a chosen one, have a greater purpose. Trust in Him and keep your faith, because the victory is already assured. Now we come to the crucial point of this video. the moment that can transform your vision and your life forever. Everything we have discussed so far, the challenges, the pain, the conflicts with narcissists and toxic relationships, has brought us to this powerful secret that God has revealed. This is the knowledge that will not only strengthen you, but also guide you to definitively defeat these negative forces that try to imprison you. Take a deep breath, because what you are about to discover has the power to unlock your purpose as a chosen one and lead you to a level of freedom and fullness you never imagined. This is the moment you have been waiting for. Let's do this together. Chosen ones defeat narcissists by recognizing their divine power and purpose. When you understand and embrace your true identity, as someone chosen and protected by God, no manipulation, control, or emotional abuse can affect you in the same way. The secret is not to confront these toxic people directly, but to strengthen yourself spiritually, access the wisdom that is already within you, and distance yourself from the need for validation that these relationships often impose. When you discover who you really are, your spiritual light shines so brightly that no narcissist can remain in your presence. This revelation changes everything because it puts the power back in your hands. You realize that you are not destined to be a victim or to live in cycles of pain. By recognizing that God's love, strength, and protection are with you, you free yourself from the emotional chains that these toxic relationships tried to impose. Your self-esteem, once undermined, begins to be restored. You start making decisions guided by your divine mission, instead of being dragged by others' manipulations. By applying this truth, your stance changes. You set healthy boundaries, learn to say no without guilt, and feel an inner peace that once seemed unattainable. To fully live this revelation, you need to start with your mind. Reject the lies that narcissists tried to implant in you. Those voices that said you were not enough, that you needed their approval, or that you would never achieve your goals alone. Replace these thoughts with the truth. God has already empowered you to win. Visualize this daily, and allow this truth to fill your heart. When your mindset changes, your actions change too. You stop reacting to attacks and provocations and start acting proactively, guided by your intuition and purpose. A fundamental part of this secret is understanding the power of silence and wisdom. Narcissists thrive on chaos and emotional reactions. When you choose strategic silence and calm, you take away their power to control. God calls you to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, which means using discernment in all your interactions. This posture is not weakness, it is strength. It is a demonstration that you are no longer willing to let others' behavior dictate how you feel or act. To apply this secret, start by establishing a daily connection with God through prayer, meditation, and reading the Word. These moments will give you clarity and peace to identify toxic patterns and cut ties that no longer serve you. Also, practice the habit of affirming your identity. Tell yourself every day, I am a chosen one. I am loved, protected, and guided by God. By doing this, you nourish your soul with the truth and move away from the emotional dependence that narcissists try to exploit. Setting boundaries is another essential step. Boundaries are not just physical barriers, but emotional and spiritual ones. They say, you can go this far, but beyond this point, it is territory protected by God. When you learn to say no firmly, without justifying or feeling guilty, you demonstrate that you are in control of your life and that your decisions are based on something much greater, the divine plan for you. Sometimes, the greatest victory is knowing when to walk away. God never intended for you to remain in places or relationships that drain your energy and extinguish your light. Walking away is not fleeing. It is protecting the work He is doing in your life. When you understand this, any guilt or fear of cutting ties disappears. You realize that saying goodbye to a toxic relationship is, in fact, saying yes to the greater plan that God has prepared for you. You are not alone on this journey. There are other chosen ones facing similar challenges, and together you can support and strengthen each other. Sharing your experience and hearing from others creates a powerful cycle of healing and learning. This connection with a community of faith and purpose reminds you that your struggle is not isolated and that there are people rooting for your spiritual success. Now that you know the secret, it's time to put it into practice. Do not let this revelation be just another piece of information. Transform it into action. Start today by affirming your identity, setting boundaries, and moving away from situations that are not aligned with God's purpose for you. Practice gratitude for having received this wisdom and the determination to apply it. In the comments, I want you to declare your faith and commitment to this transformation. Write, I choose my freedom as an act of faith and a reminder of the power you possess. Also, share your story, your challenges, and how this revelation has already started to impact your life. Remember, every step you take towards freedom is a testimony that God is acting in you and for you. Let's create a strong, connected community guided by purpose. Thank you for staying with me until now. If this content resonated in your heart, follow the channel, like, and share this video with others who might relate. Now that you have discovered how the chosen ones defeat narcissists and toxic relationships, it's time to take the next step in your spiritual awakening. If you want to discover the secret signs that only the most powerful chosen ones carry, the next video is for you. Click now, because this revelation can transform your life once and for all.